Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Somos Mas, the official podcast of Somos Mas NM, and your source for the latest news and notes on New Mexico United and the New Mexico Runners. My name, of course, is Seth Benoff. Joining me this week, Tweedledee is back once again. Earl Nieto. Earl, how you doing? How was your weekend? And how's your week been? You've been busy this week.
I don't know where to freaking start. My weekend was good. We went up to Espanola, spent the night at the Santa Clara Hotel. We had a couple free nights there, so we've been trying to burn through those. So that's how we spent our Friday night. Went to Josh Turner, one of the best concerts I've ever been to. Went back to the hotel. Went back Saturday. Came back home Saturday. Went back Sunday to the hotel with Maya. Went swimming. Just a lot of back and forth. The first portion of the week, and then this later half of the week, it was just non-fucking stop. So we had Maya's appointment on Wednesday, so we were jammed up there. Hence the reason why we had to push this back a couple days, because that was on me. I get to take blame for this one. Like everyone knows, we do have families here. And Tuesday didn't work out for me because I was in a hotel room. And Wednesday didn't work out for Seth. Wednesday at 9 didn't work out for Seth, but 9:30 didn't work for me. Because I had a long day. And then today, 9:30, obviously, that's how it played out. So it's been kind of a jam-packed week, and then today we got told that we go tomorrow down to Albuquerque to go sign off on our house. So we will be living the dream here in a couple days, I think, or in a couple weeks.
Yeah, welcome to home ownership, Earl. Hope you enjoy that and everything comes along with it. Again, exactly. So you've been busy this week. And fortunately, I guess you could say fortunately, New Mexico United hasn't been as busy this week. But before we jump into that discussion, I do want to ask you one question real quick.
Is it a burning question?
You can say it's a burning question. I heard a brief something, and that was it.
It sounded like this.
Yep, still just I don't know.
Carry on. It's your ears.
Yeah, so my burning question for you this week, Earl, is Punk done?
Yeah. I say yes because I don't see Triple H bringing him back. Unless there's some kind of Endeavor deal that brings CM Punk back to WWE, I think he's done. He needs to just retire. I would love to see CM Punk come back. I had my own imagination of what it would look like, where at Survivor Series in Chicago, CM Punk sits front row. Crowd starts chanting CM Punk. They don't acknowledge it. Nothing happens. And then Monday night, supposedly my sound sucks. So does that sound better?
You sounded fine. It was the soundboard that I couldn't get.
Well, the person who I got the new hashtag from just texted into the text line saying, "Can't hear, your sound sucks."
Interesting. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I can't hear your sound. Sorry, that's on me. That's my bad. I read that. I'm terrible. But anyways, I don't think CM Punk comes back. But like I was saying, my vision of it was Survivor Series hits it in front row. Doesn't acknowledge the CM Punk chants that are going on. Monday Night Raw happens and the show starts. The lights are down just on the ring, and it's CM Punk sitting in the middle of the ring, ready to drop another pipe bomb.
Yeah, he's kind of up it right now. I don't see him getting a run anywhere except maybe New Japan. But even then, I mean, I think he's done.
Oh, 100%. I feel the same way.
All right, I just want to get your take on that. I know you tend to follow it a little bit closer than I do, but I know that made the rounds this week. So yeah, it's interesting to see, just how badly he's burned his bridges in the industry, and so he's just kind of he's done it all to himself. This isn't like someone else out to get him or anything like that. He's screwed himself is what's happened to the Punk.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just indulging in some cake.
Great snack for the show, Earl.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you have a fiance that makes incredible sugar-free cake, can't help but eat it. This one has cherry jello in it, so
cherry jello, interesting. Okay,
it kind of tastes like chocolate-covered cherries.
Well, I would assume so if you have a chocolate cake and chocolate icing.
Shut your mouth, you smartass.
Yeah, glad things are going well. Glad you guys are getting through life. I spent the weekend refereeing out at the Birmingham Soccer Complex. It was a fun weekend out there doing that. It's great to get out, get some run in. I did 8 matches over the weekend, so it was a lot of fun. Adult Soccer League starts up this weekend, which will be a lot of fun, as does the DCSL Youth League. Fall season starts up as well. So if you're interested in getting out and getting some exercise and potentially making a little bit of extra money on the side, you can learn how to be a soccer referee. And there's always a need for youth referees, and really in any sport, but youth soccer, like I said, youth sports is where they need a lot of help. So, but moving right along to New Mexico United, yeah, obviously Earl coming off of a 4-match homestand, things did not go the way that we planned, or the way that we had hoped, I should say. You look at the series of matches here: Oakland Roots, you've got FC Tulsa, Las Vegas Lights, and Charleston Battery. Really a homestand, a stretch of matches that you would hope United would get at least, and this is a conversation I had with Harry the other day, was I would have hoped for at least 6 to 7 points out of this homestand. Now, you look at what we ended up with 4, with 2 losses, a win, and a draw. And, you have to come from behind twice, or from 2 goals down against Las Vegas. And then you give up a really kind of a dumb goal against Charleston. Or I think dumb's probably the wrong word, but you give up an inopportune goal against Charleston on Saturday. And what was really a great defensive showing by both sides. But looking back at this homestand, you have to think that that with this stretch of games here, this was our best chance to try to make some ground, even though the opponents were a little bit tougher on paper anyway. But you have to you got to look at Charleston as a missed opportunity. Look at Lice as a missed opportunity. I mean, realistically, even Oakland was a missed opportunity as well. But, is this the defining stretch of the season? Are these 4 matches going to be the defining moments for us?
I hope not. I hope not. But excuse me. I do need to rewind to last week in the chat. Friend of the show, but not friends of me right now, because he's a Philadelphia Eagles fan and I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. So for the next 4.5 months, me and David will probably not be on speaking terms. However, I will extend the olive branch, because last week, if you guys remember, let's take a trip back to memory lane, where Mr. David Weesey Carl made a bet on air. He bet me a beverage.
Mm-hmm.
That Schneider Bordigan would score a goal.
Yep, that was the wager there.
So, Seth, I'm surprised you don't have the highlights up yet. Do you remember seeing Schneider Bordigan score a goal?
I do not, Earl. I do not recall Schneider Bordigan scoring either Wednesday or Saturday last week.
Yeah, me either. Funny.
And I can confirm that last week I was talking to David, and he was really hoping that Schneider would score so that he would shut up this week about it.
Yeah. So, anyways, so here's the thing about this, David. Old Earl, that would be pre-December 14th Earl, December 14th, 2022, that is, would gladly take you up on this bet and would gladly cash in on this bet. However, thanks, Jane. Thanks, because I watched it again in the hopes that I blinked. Or the hopes that I fell asleep because he's so boring. But no, that's not the case. Anyways, David, back to you. Serious biz here. I have a 6-year-old in my life who likes to take me up on bets too. And whenever said 6-year-old loses this bet, such as the one she lost on Wednesday, I immediately forgive her bet so she doesn't have to pay for it. So, David, sir, I'm going to forgive your bet because I feel like our friendship is stronger than a beverage of your picking, which, with my luck, it's water because I'm a media member and I can't drink when I have a media badge. So, with that, David, don't worry about the beverage. I'm not going to charge you $12 for a bottle of water at Ice Tips Park. That's that. But, sir, just know that for once in my life, I was not wrong.
Yeah, that is accurate. You were not wrong last week. And you can't, and honestly, you can't put the blame solely on Schneider Borgelin. You look at the way United played on Wednesday and on Saturday, obviously against Lights, you get the early goal and then to go down 3-1, you have to fight back and score, twice in the final 15 minutes of the match to bring that one back. Like you obviously you don't want to be in that situation. On paper, we should be beating Lights. Now, I do want to point out that I did say both on ESPN Radio and on our show that Lights were sneaky good and could walk away with all 3 points in that match.
You're also a Braves fan, though.
Yes, I am, and we're in first place. Thank you, Ronald Acuna Jr.
Huh?
34-63, Earl. He's going to get 40-70.
Who the fuck are you talking about? Fernando Tatis?
No, Ronald Acuna Jr., the soon-to-be National League MVP.
No one cares about him.
I beg to differ, sir.
No one's even a Braves fan except for you.
What can I say? You
and your vegan shirt.
I will convert the masses that watch this show into Braves fandom, except for David, because David is, of course, a diehard Philly fan. So, but David knows who rules the East. So, but yeah, I mean, I was right about Vegas. I was that they were sneaky good, and they put us through our paces on Wednesday night. Then you go into Charleston on Saturday. Very different formation that we saw for us anyway. Very defensive match between the two sides. And to be honest, United did not play poorly defensively. United played pretty well with Andrew Thomas between the sticks. He had a pretty good night, and one goal gets let in off of a ball that got headed 3 times. He really had a good night. And with the injury to Alex Tambakis, I expect we see Andrew probably the next 4 to 5 weeks to be my guess. And so I think he's a quality talent. I think he did well. I think he's going to give us a real good shot in these next few weeks coming up, Birmingham, Indy, and beyond. But this homestand was just a massive letdown, if you ask me. We should have walked away with at least 7 points, if you ask me. Because the win over Tulsa, I I absolutely saw a win against Lights on Wednesday, and then a point from either Oakland or Battery. I think it would have been the bare minimum we needed, and we didn't do that.
No.
Fortunately for us, El Paso is still shitting the bed. Colorado's lost 2 in a row. Oakland has lost 2 in a row, so they're keeping us within reach of the playoffs. We're still 2 points out at this point, but we no longer have matches in hand over these guys. So, 7 matches left. Do we have enough in the tank to pull it out?
I want to say yes. That's my fanboy, corporate shill, whatever vagina plaster wants to call it. That's the thing. I think we do. I think we have just enough in us to make a playoff run. Unfortunately, actually, it's not unfortunately, because fortunately, and it's sad, it's actually bad to say. Let me think about this one. No. Okay. However you want to take it, Alex Tempbakis probably will not be available for the remainder of the season. Because you figure we have 7 games. I don't know. I don't have the schedule up right in front of me. I don't know how many games that puts us out. Probably 2 or 3 remaining.
So if we're looking at Alex being out 4 to 5 weeks, so you got Birmingham, Indy both next week. You've got Sac Republic the week after, Riverhounds 3 weeks out, and then Lou City, and then 2 games left after that.
So we have him for about two games, barring a post-season run.
Potentially Memphis, Rising, and Lou City.
Okay, so
if he's only out for 4 weeks.
Right. So I was right. So with that, maybe Andrew Thomas makes a point. Proves that he belongs there. Mm-hmm. It's unfortunately because I really, really, really wanted to see Ford Parker do his thing. And unfortunately, he got thrown in there. Kind of a last-minute decision, and I'm assuming it was a last-minute decision because Alex was on the bench.
Well, so I think Alex was on the bench simply because of the fact we didn't have a third keeper, unless you want to sign an academy kid, which you really don't want to do. So there was some confusion about that the other night. Alex was on the bench. He was not officially listed as injured, but he was out. Like he was there to fill the roster spot.
Okay, so with that, I mean, I would have loved to see Ford do his thing. Unfortunately, he tried to do his thing. He got beat 3-1.
No, it was a draw, 3-3.
Oh yeah, 3-3. Sorry. That's just where it's at. So, I mean, I wish Alex the best. I hope he gets well soon. That's all I have on that.
Yeah, it's Alex's injury is unfortunate. But it looks like Thomas is going to be a good fill-in for him, and maybe there's the potential we sign Thomas after the season for next year. I don't know, with it being, a loan until the end of the season. Obviously, if he does well, Seattle's going to want him back, probably get something for him, long term. I don't know what their plans are for him, but yeah, you look at the back end of our schedule, and everybody we face from here on out is in this playoff race right now. Birmingham, Indy, Sac Republic, Pittsburgh, Lou City, Rising, who are pretty good the last couple of weeks, and then Memphis 901. I just don't see it. I don't see it at this point. Like, yes, we beat Sacramento earlier in the year. Rising, I feel like we maybe have a chance there, but I don't know where the points are going to come from. I really don't. I mean, looking at these 7 matches, 2 points out. I don't know where do we pick it up, because right now we've got 19% chance to make the playoffs to 25-38. We don't even have a magic number listed on our playoff projections. So I don't know. Out of 21 possible points, what do you think we need to safely make it into the playoffs?
Out of 21 possible points, I think we need maybe 12.
12, okay.
So the way I see it is, if we can get on track, and that's a big if, because right now we're not going to have Mondo for at least 1 week, depending on what El Salvador does with their lives over there.
He's already said that he will be back for Indy. That was asked of him Wednesday night last week after the Lights match. Mondo did confirm he will be back for Indy.
Okay, so with that leaves us almost stranded, because the only striking or attacking forward that we have, and it's not even attacking forward, it's more of an attacking backward, is Schneider Bordigan. I mean, you could put Hursty up there. You could try to, at least. You could put Serge up there if you want. But I mean,
that's not where you want Serge, though.
Exactly. At the end of the day, the only person you can put there is Schneider Bordigan.
Well, I mean, Brucey should be back. He was on the bench Saturday night. He wasn't 100%, but he was there. I was told that the likelihood of us seeing him on Saturday was very, very slim, and that unless it was absolutely necessary, he would not be coming into that match. So Brucey's close. So there's a chance we could see him, maybe throw him up top, go back to kind of what we were looking like a few weeks back. I think that might be a spark. I mean, obviously missing, he's been missing. Bees has still been out. He's close. Nava, we're still not going to get this season, which I think is the right decision. But, with a couple of visas coming back, at least for this, potentially back for this weekend with Armando being out, I think there's a possibility that things could improve a little bit, but I just don't know. I mean, you say 12, I look at the schedule. I also look at, El Paso's schedule and Colorado's, because those are the two that we're looking at right now that we're chasing down. El Paso's schedule, Orange County, Las Vegas, Sac Republic, Rising, Battery, Loyal, Memphis, and then Oakland. So Well, it's
Orange County's on 8 straight.
Mm-hmm. They are. Orange County's on 8 straight, and then they have Lights on there. That gives El Paso a pretty good shot right there at some points. But the back end, the final 6 matches are tough. Everyone 7 out of 8 are against playoff teams. Then you look at Colorado. Colorado has San Antonio, Orange County, Sac Republic, Detroit, RGV, Lights, and Rising. So on paper, Colorado's schedule is a little bit easier, not by much, but it does look to be a little bit easier. Detroit obviously still fighting for a spot out in the East. But, I mean, you look at those, and then, Monterrey's right ahead of us, too. Monterrey is 1 point ahead. And, so you throw them in the mix. They're on, 3 unbeaten right now. So, I don't know. I just don't know where the points come from. I think 12 puts us on 45. I just don't know. I mean, we're fortunate that El Paso and Colorado, the back end of their schedules, are just about as tough as ours is, but I think somehow 10 points squeaks us in, but I don't like it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So 12 is a comfortable spot for us.
Yeah,
I think 9 or 10 gets us in, but definitely 12 is probably the comfortable spot for us.
Yeah, probably. I just don't see more than that. I mean, you look at 21 possible out of those 7 matches. There's no way we pick up 15 or more. I don't see that. I think 13 is maybe like the top end of what we get, 12, 13, somewhere in there. But
13 still pushing.
Yeah, I think so too. You've got to have the club has to be playing at its very best on these last 7 matches for that to even be a possibility. And yes, the majority of those matches are still at home for us. Looking back, we've got. Sorry, I pulled something else up real quick. One we have. Well, actually, no. From this point, we have 4 matches on the road and 3 at home. So I just don't know. I just don't know where the points come from. That's a problem because we have so many missed opportunities earlier in the season that we did not take advantage of. Even on this homestand, we did not take advantage of the opportunities that we had. And so,
let's take a look back at the homestand on some of the missed opportunities. There's one that stands out to this day, still stands out in my mind. And if you're a hungry striker that wants to be world-class top, whatever the hell you want to call yourself, you have to take your chances when you have them. Mm-hmm. Whether you think you're offside, whether you think you're onside, you can't half-ass an attempt when the whistle doesn't blow. Mm-hmm. You play through the whistle. I mean, that's just how it goes. I mean, and we all know who I'm talking about. So it's a waste of me saying the name again because it's already in the chat.
Yeah.
When you look back and there's a potential offside that he thinks is offside and he half-asses a shot, it gets blocked, but no whistle gets blown. Mm-hmm. That loss falls now on you.
Yeah, I get it. And that is one of those moments. You look back during this homestand, that's going to be like, okay, what did we do? What was he thinking? Why didn't he, fully commit to that? Again, we've talked about it multiple times. Was he offside? Was he not? Is that what he thought? We don't know. But yeah, it has to be better. It has to be a lot better these next 7 matches. But I promise you a short show this evening, Earl, because I know that it is late. And we've kind of already gone over, where I thought we would be in terms of this discussion. But looking ahead to this weekend, Birmingham Legion matches on Sunday this week. The match has officially been pushed back by an hour and a half from a 3:00 start time to a 4:30 start time now due to weather concerns. The initial forecast had the weather at 93 degrees on Sunday afternoon. Legion put out a Twitter poll to which an overwhelming 87% of the respondents said yes, push the match back. So Birmingham worked it out with the league, got the match moved back by an hour and a half to help combat some of that potential, hot weather down there. But Legion are coming off of, I believe it's 2 losses they're coming off of. I know they lost to San Diego over the weekend, and they've kind of shot themselves in the foot here a little bit. They were sitting pretty, but they've lost 2, and everybody else above them, with the exception of Tampa, has picked up a minimum of 4 points in the last 2 matches. So Legion are on the cusp. They do have a 5-point cushion currently over Detroit City, who are sitting in 9th. But Birmingham is a club that has a lot of talent, and they just brought in someone else we talked about, I think, last week, Preston Tibor-Taka. That is now with Birmingham Legion alongside Nico Brett. And this is a Legion team that we've talked to Kaylor Hodges in the past. This is a tough Legion team. These guys are there. We know what Nico can do. We know that what Preston can do, not do, I should say, at least in terms of his performance with us. But they still have Prosper. It's a stacked roster, and I'm kind of amazed that these guys are not slightly higher in the table. But it's going to be a tough match on Saturday. We've got to find a way to slow down those forwards. We've got to find a way to work through the midfield, and that's going to be tough. That midfield for Legion is really, really tough. You look at Enzo Martinez and Anderson Asaidu, 2 guys that we've talked about in the past. 2 guys that are really, really good in the midfield. And with us being shorthanded, with no Armando Moreno, who's going to be that engine for us out of the midfield? So a lot of questions for United coming into this weekend. Earl, what's your take on the match on Sunday? And is there a chance that we walk away with points on the road?
I don't know. This whole night has been let's bash Schneider. This night has also seen me forgive bets with a Philadelphia Eagles fan. So I don't know what else has in store for this week or this weekend or anything. The fanboy in me wants to say yes. We see at least 1 point on the road this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But my brain says otherwise. My brain says we'll hold down the fort until Seymour gets in there. And then once Seymour hops in on the right, that's where either Nico scores or Preston Tabor Ataka scores, or even Prosper Kasim. One of those three will score and steal the points away from us. So where my heart says yes, my brain says no. We don't get points on the road this weekend.
All right. What's your result?
1-0.
1-0. Okay. Yeah,
and like I said, that 1-0 is going to come late in the game. It's going to be 0-0 for a while, and then it's going to be Will Seymour coming in to give a break, to give rest, and he's going to get beat right off the start, and have the brakes beat off of him and get scored on.
Yeah, that's where it's hard. You know, as a fan, you obviously want to believe that the team's going to pick up the 3 points. As someone who covers the club, as a member of the media, I watch, I analyze, I look at what's going on. I don't see it. I don't see it in this game on Sunday. So used to saying Saturday. It's weird to play on a Sunday. And NFL opening day, no less, which I think is a really poor decision. I just don't see it.
Technically, opening day was today.
Yeah, well, you know.
Which we saw the Chiefs lose to the Detroit Lions.
Jared Goff.
Sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't know. I am torn. I think we have the ability to pick up points in any one of these matches coming up, but this one on Sunday against Legion, I think Legion just outpaces us. I think they're far more creative in the midfield because, we're going to be without Armando, and I'm not 100% sure that Bees will be there on Sunday. I would like to see him there. I know Brucey will more than likely be back either Sunday or Friday, but I just don't think it'll be enough on the road against Legion. I'm going to say 2-0 Legion on Sunday, and I hate to do that. I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong about this because I want to see this club back in the playoffs again this year. I want to see them find their stride and get things going, but who knows? It's tough. And I think at the end of the year, we're going to come back no matter what, or we're going to be looking at missed opportunities, you know, whether it be moments in the match, whether it be an entire match, whether it be a stretch of matches, you know, where were the missed opportunities. And so we can't have those anymore these last 7 games. Earl, I do have one final question for you before we get out of here this evening. How about them Cowboys?
What am I missing?
I don't know.
I fucking hate you.
Cowboys open their season against the New York Giants on Sunday. Cowboys opted not to play Dak Prescott in the preseason. Is that an issue for the Cowboys heading into week 1? And why is Dak still not the man of the future?
Dak is the man of the future for the Cowboys. I said the Cowboys, not me. Him not playing in the preseason, it's preseason. Who the hell cares? Do those games even matter?
To some people, they do, because apparently Denver is all excited about their prospects after doing pretty well in their preseason.
Denver's excited about anything.
That is very true.
They're excited about Taylor Swift next weekend,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm not going to, by the way. I just know that. Yeah, I don't know. I have learned being a Cowboys fan. You, Seth, as well, being a Falcons fan. No, don't get your hopes up.
Nope.
Don't get your hopes up. Especially when it's Dak Prescott leading the Dallas Cowboys. I just don't have any hope in the Cowboys. I mean,
all right. Do the Cowboys win week 1?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Atlanta's got Carolina. If there's any year that Atlanta has the potential to win the South. The South is very weak at the quarterback position this year. You got some really not great quarterbacks in the South. If Atlanta's going to win the division, it's going to be either this year or next year. I think that's their best window to do it. We've got Carolina on Sunday. I think Atlanta beats Carolina on Sunday. So Dallas, of course, is the Sunday night game against New York Giants on NBC. But Earl, before we get out of here, do you have any closing thoughts?
I don't, actually.
All right. Don't. Perfect. So again, folks, we do appreciate each and every one of you being here. This was a little bit of a different schedule for us this evening due to some real life occurrences. But for those of you who were here with us, Jane over in the chat, if you're not in the chat, we do appreciate you still watching and listening wherever you may be watching us or listening to us around the world. We do appreciate that. And there is a comment in the chat that is still there. You can source by sending stars. I don't know what stars are, something on Facebook. Stars apparently give us money somehow. That allows us to help keep making content. So yeah, we do this completely free. Everything comes out of our own pockets. If you guys want to support the show, you can certainly send stars. We still have not talked about Patreon. That's something that we need to do. We'll probably figure that out in the off season. But our content will never be paywalled. We'll never have to keep anything behind that for you guys, but we will add options if you do want to support the show in the future. So for Earl, for myself, for Jacob, who is still at the police academy, thank you to each and every one of you again for being here. And until next time, somos unidos.